BakeCountryPreps.com. I'm Evan Wren, and this is the Countdown to Two-A-Days series. Our daily look at an area football team and the key questions we'll be answering about that team in our August 21st preseason preview here at Big Country Preps. I'm here with my partner, Dan Youngblood, via Zoom, and tonight, Dan, we've got the Brady Bulldogs.
Yeah, and this is a Brady team that brings a lot of talent back from last year. They went 3-8 in Coach Jaron Roberts' first year as a head coach, but they've got 22 of their 28 lettermen back this year, including 8 offensive and 10 defensive starters. So you'd expect significant improvement for a couple of different reasons. A, they're going to be very experienced, and B, they've now had a full season in Coach Roberts' system. So I think it's an exciting time to be a Brady Bulldog. I think this is going to be a really interesting season. They had a solid JV team last year, from which they'll get some reinforcements, and then a lot of returning starters. So obviously some questions to answer after going 3-8 last year, but on the whole, I think it looks like a pretty intriguing season for the Bulldogs.
All right, before we get started on this countdown segment, let's ask you YouTubers to please hit the subscribe button and also hit the little bell so you'll get notifications each and every time we have a new video here at Big Country Preps. Also, we'd like to thank a couple of our sponsors, beginning with For the Love of the Game Broadcasting and our old friend Terry Slavens, owner of KLAX 93.5 FM out of Brackenridge, 97.7 FM KATX out of Eastland, Classic Country AM 1330 out of Graham, 94.7 FM KWKQ out of Graham, KROO 1430 AM out of Breck, and KWBY 98.5 FM out of Ranger. That is For the Love of the Game Broadcasting. Also, Rob Durham, sales consultant at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac up in Breckenridge. If you're in the market for a vehicle, give Rob a shot at 254-559-2266. He's one of the nicest guys you'll ever want to meet. That is Rob Durham up at Bear Chevrolet Buick Cadillac in Breckenridge.
All right, and with that, let's go ahead and jump in. Let's talk about these Brady Bulldogs and some of the biggest questions facing them this season. The first one I think is a positive for them, and that is that experience. I am eager to see the impact that having so much experience will have on this particular bunch. Those who have watched these probably get tired of me talking about how important that I think experience is to the success of a high school football team. But just from my experience, there's no greater predictor of success than an experienced team. I would expect, because they have so many kids back that have gotten that experience, I would expect significant improvement. I'm eager to see just how quickly we'll see some of that this year.
Yeah, I agree with you on the experience. Older players, more experienced players make fewer mistakes. They carry out their assignments at a higher rate. They make fewer mistakes. They generate fewer penalties, and there's no substitution for it. No substitute for it. One of my questions for Brady would be their offensive line. They've got plenty of size up front. Maybe a tad young in spots, but they are big, and they've got some good guys up front. DeMarcus Reed would be one of them, who had 18 pancakes last year. And Nasser Menafield is another one, 6'3" and 335 pounds. Started as a freshman last year, and it just brings a ton of weight to the table. You love to have a guy like that up front.
Yeah, and they're going to be protecting a lot of experience as well. At the quarterback position, Sean Jacoby started all year last year as a sophomore, got a ton of great experience, and they've got some good skill guys around him, so that's going to be interesting to see. My final question is actually on the other side of the football, and that's an area where I think they're going to have to improve if they hope to take a big step forward. That's on the defensive side, where last year they allowed more than 30 points a game. I think if they're going to like we talked about, and take that next step, that's the side they're gonna have to get better on. But the great thing here is they've got 10 starters back from last year's defense, which is a crazy number. That is a great number for a coach. When you got 10 starters back, you're only replacing one of those guys. I'm eager to see just what kind of improvement we can see on that side of the football, particularly in the secondary. I think they're gonna have to get better stopping the pass. But I think this is a group that could be exciting to watch this year with all they've got back.
All right, let's take a quick look at the schedule. Brady, this year, non-district, San Antonio, YMLA. That's going to be on August the 30th. A home date with Mason on the 6th of September, followed by a road date at Ozona and another road date at Ballinger on the 20th. Ingram Moore will come in on September 27th, followed by an open date prior to district.
And they kick off district play after their open date on October 11th at Dublin, followed by another road game on the 18th against Eastland. They finally get a home district game on October 25th against Early before going back on the road to face Toller, which is moving up after a run to state last year on November 1st. And then they close out their district schedule at home on November 8th against Clifton. So this will be a fun schedule. I think this is a very fair district. There's going to be an opportunity to really compete here. It's going to be, I think, a very competitive district after Toller.
All right, game of the year for Brady. I have maybe a couple to look at. I think Clifton. So if you're talking about playoff seeding, I think the game against Clifton, perhaps the game against Early, may have the most give the afford the Bulldogs the best opportunity to get a higher seed.
Yeah, I'm interested about those Eastland and early back-to-back games. I think those are going to be fun and kind of tell us how good this Brady team is. But that district, there's going to be a bunch of fun competitive games. I'm excited about it.
All right, with that, it's about time to wrap up this edition of the Countdown to Two-A-Day series. But before we do that, we want to remind you, don't forget about our August 21st preseason preview, which, as Dan will tell you, is expanding this year.
Yes, we are adding 5 new schools to the coverage area this year. We've got Mineral Wells, Glen Rose, Graham, Toller, and Miles joining the mix. So super excited to see that base 40 schools grow to 45. We hope y'all are excited to follow those schools this year through our coverage. In the meantime, we appreciate you joining us for this episode of our Countdown to Two-A-Day series, and we hope you come back tomorrow when we feature the Dublin Lions here at BigCountryPreps.com.